So welcome to our end-to-end tour of multimedia messaging, or MMS for short. Today we will navigate you through the steps required to set up the ability to deliver images, GIFs, and video files through Responsys. So let's start by signing in into the Oracle Responsys system. To start, we will first ensure that you have installed the MMS application in preparation for getting this innovative message type ready for action. To begin, I will navigate to the Responsys interface and click on Account from the left side panel. And then I will click on App Management. After finding the Kaleyra app from the list of applications, click on the Edit button located on the right of the Kaleyra application description. This might take a moment to charge. And when prompt, we have to enter our username and password. So I already have my username here, so I will insert my password. Click on Save. And congratulations, you have been successfully authenticated and can begin leveraging your newly installed MMS application. Now that I've been authenticated, I will proceed to the left panel where I'm going to click on Programs. And by clicking on Programs, you'll be presented with a dashboard that will eventually be the home view of your MMS programs. Now on the dashboard, I will click on the Create a Program button on the top right. And from there, you will be prompted to add a name, select a folder, select a list, and write a small description. Now, the description is optional, but for the purpose of this demonstration, let's bring the entire vision to life. So I will name my program Sally's Shoe Depot. March Madness 2022 Special 1. Now the selected folder should match the account name, in this case would be Kaleyra, and the selected list should represent the audience you intend to deliver the MMS message to. On the description, I'm going to write this program is a special, only available during the March Madness tournament, and it uses a GIF as the media that users should expect to see. Now, like I mentioned before, the description is optional. However, it is advisable to write a small description because it will facilitate to identify specific programs in the middle of several programs. So it's always better to write a small description of the program. So now that I have all my data here, I will click on Create. So once the page loads, you will land in the Program Designer, which allows you to create the journey that executes the program experience. In this demonstration, I will provide you with the ability to establish a filter to identify the audience that you would ideally like to receive a GIF from a March Madness tournament discount from Sally's Short Depot, just like we did a few moments ago. So on the top left corner, I will click on the plus sign to expose the design elements. I will select the schedule, filter, or view and do a drag and drop to the grid. And then I will do a double click on the icon to display additional criteria to tailor the event. In the box that appears here, I will click on the schedule filter. I will select the run filter and I will click select to identify what filtered list should I use. Now in this case, I will select this list, click OK. And below on the frequency section, I will select the time and insert the date. After this, we can click on Done. From here, you will want to click and drag the app's design element right here. And the process is the same as we did on the schedule, filter, or view. We do the double click on the apps. And you click on Kaleyra MMS and click Done. So once the new screen chargers, you will have the ability to customize the name and add a description. So for the purpose of this demonstration, I have updated the stage label to be Sally's Shoe Depot. And I'm going to add a description regarding the type of multimedia that can be expected. Okay, then you click on Configure App to navigate to the content creation screen. Now, I'm going to start by adding the shortcodes that you will be using to send out multimedia message. Please keep in mind that if a shortcode is not active with a US carrier network for multimedia messaging, this process will not operate at all. So keep that in mind when you're creating your program. On the subject, I'm going to include a short description for the media content. You can also use and customize your subject using parameters by selecting your list. And once we are done with that, I will proceed to the message. Now in the message field, we have to enter a short message to pair with the media under 160 characters, preferred but not limited. And if you like to personalize the content as shown here for Sally's Shoe Depot, you can do so by using the parameters feature. So I'm going to write my message. Also, I will also use the parameters here by selecting my list. Okay, then you can also select the media from the asset library to include. Keep in mind that only images, GIFs, and video files found in the asset library can be used for the message content. So when you're creating this program, if you already have decided which media you're going to use, you have to upload, prior to this step, you have to upload all of your media files to the responses gallery. So I'm going to select one of our samples. Okay, you can also use the search box right here. And I will choose my file. Now I will review the content again to see if everything is okay. And if everything is okay, from here you can also send a text message to a single phone number or proceed with saving settings. So you are able to test the message to see how it looks, if everything looks okay and on brand. Or you can just save and move on. So now that my settings are saved correctly, I will close out my screen, click done on the previous screen, and finish working on the overall program design. So if everything looks good, you can validate your program. So let's start by establishing a route between the two steps and connect the two icons. And once we do this, we are all set to save and publish our program. So let's click on validate. As you can see here, everything is good. There was no errors. But if something is wrong, for example, if the date is not correct or if the hour is not correct, Responsys will give you a heads up before you validate your program. So you can correct and make sure that everything is okay. So now that is validate, we can click save. And this program was successfully saved to our program list. So now that my program was already saved, we can move on to the next step, which would be to publish our program. So we can go here on the grid and click on publish, look for the publish button, and then confirm that you want to publish. Once we confirm and the program is being published, this means that after it's published, Responsys will be able to send my message to all of the contacts that were pre-selected on my list a few moments earlier. So once the program is processed by Responsys, meaning that every single contact on our predefined list receives the message, the final user would receive something similar to this. Now remember that this example is just illustrative of the potential of this channel, so it can be even furtherly customized and branded. So this was our demo for Kaleyra MMS app for Responsys. Thank you so much for your time.